Hey guys, it's Chloe, and I am finally filming my book talk for Fairest by Marissa Meyer. So I've been meaning to film this video for like 2 weeks now, and I wanted to finally film it before I forgot everything. So here we are. And I did my makeup to match the cover again, like I did with Ruby Red. And at first I didn't like this makeup look as much as the Ruby Red one, but it's growing on me, it's grown on me. I like it now. So maybe I'll do a tutorial on how to do this, like bookish makeup, bookish cover makeup. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to get straight into the book talk. This book talk is going to be filled with spoilers, but I'll try and do like a minute or two of non-spoilers right now. So basically this is a prequel to the Lunar Chronicles. The Lunar Chronicles, my favorite series. Really great series. If you haven't picked it up, please go read it. With Fairest, I do recommend reading Cinder first, at least Cinder. I'd read all the books before this came out, so I was well prepared for this book. And this follows the villain, Levana, and it's basically her story, and it starts when she is 15 years old. And so we kind of meet this young Levana, and we are introduced to her in a different light than we are in Cinder. I think this is where it's going to get spoilered, because I can't really explain it without spoilers. So if you haven't read Fairest, please leave and read Fairest and come back and watch the video, because now it's going to get spoilered. Okay, so to start off, we meet Levana in this story as she's waking up on the day of her parents' funeral. Her parents were murdered. Assassined, murdered, either way. So they're dead, and Levana is waking up on the day of their funeral. And funerals on Luna are very, very different from funerals here. Everybody pretends to be in mourning, but I don't think anybody really liked the king and queen. And as we go through the first opening scenes, we realize how vulnerable this Levana is, because she's young and she's 15, so she has these insecurities, which we don't know what yet. And one thing I noticed when reading this book is, even though this is the same series, like it's my favorite series, the world felt so different from the world of, Cinder, Scarlet, and Cress. It was mainly because it was, in a different setting. We were on the moon, on Luna, and I think that's what gave it this different feel when I was reading it. It was definitely different, because I'm so used to reading about, the main characters in the main series, but wanting to learn about this character and why she's the way she is, so evil, hating people. It's just it's so weird. And reading about Levana in this different light was definitely strange too, because I'm used to her in the Lunar Chronicles just wanting to get rid of lunar fugitives, kill Cinder, and it's so crazy, because I'm so used to her, wanting to take over Earth. And when she was younger, it was different, and she was insecure, and she felt insecure, and she had these insecurities, and it was so different, really. I've said it already, the young Levana is so different from the Levana we know, and it made it different to read. I still enjoyed it, but it was a different read. I liked seeing her sort of, not really good, because she's not good, but more vulnerable and insecure, because it showed that, she is she's not human, but for lack of a better term, she is human. She has insecurities like everybody else, and that's really what was nice about reading this book. Now, throughout the book, not in any specific area, but just throughout the book, you saw elements of what you see or learn in the main series. So, for example, we learned the origin of the mutant soldiers that we learn about we first learn about them in Cinder. We meet them in Scarlet, And that was very interesting. Also, the origin of plague, lutemosis, and we learned the origin and how it was created on Luna. They created it to help bring down Earth's defenses because their people are dying, and Luna basically sent in Lunars with the disease to basically bring down Earth in a small sense and make them weak as opposed to what they were before the plague. Now, in this book, we meet the head guard. His name is Everett, and he is just adorable. I love him so much. He's great. And he is married. His wife is named Solstice, and she's pregnant. And I didn't really have this theory until after, or just right before it was guessed right. In the book, when Solstice goes into labor, she dies, but the baby survives, and Everett is just distraught. And him and Levana are looking at the baby in the nursery, and it occurs to me, because they're describing how this baby looks, and it sounded very familiar, and I was just like, is this Winter? Are we meeting baby Winter? And you bet we did. We met baby Winter, and I was just like, holy crap, so we're getting elements, well, not really elements, we're seeing Winter before the actual book Winter, even if it's just like in a prequel sense, and it was really cool, and I thought like, okay, now how does this work out? Because in Cress, I think, it says that Winter is Levana's stepdaughter, which I was just like, okay, do her and Everett get married? And there was, in the beginning of the book, there was this sense from Levana that she really, really liked Everett, and she hated that he had a wife, and when his wife passed away, she was really happy. She said, you know, this has got to be fate, this is supposed to be happening. And I understood then. I was like, okay, but Everett doesn't like Levana like that. He loved his wife is now dead. And this is where it gets really weird. Levana actually, she used her glamour to look like his wife, to look like Solstice, and I thought that was like, oh my god, why are you doing that? That is the worst possible thing you could do. And ended up actually using her glamour to help persuade him that he loved her when he really didn't. And they ended up getting married, which is how Winter is her stepdaughter. I think throughout the book, though, towards the end of it, he started to like her, maybe as a little bit more than a friend, but I don't think he liked how it ended up, how, you know, he was forced to marry her, you know, weeks after his wife died. And that was a little for me, a little rocky, but I did like that, you know, he started to see her as a little more than an evil person. Okay, so now I need to get on to Levana's sister, Queen Chernary, or Chernary, I'm going to say Chernary, who is, you guessed it if you already knew, Cinder's mother. And reading Cinder, I don't know why I thought this, but when I was reading Cinder, I've read it twice, and I want to think that Cinder's mother was a good person. And let me tell you, she's not. You want to believe that Cinder's mom is a good person, that she was a nice queen, but she wasn't. She was horrible. She was horrible to Levana. She was horrible as a ruler, and I just hated her. I hated her so much. She hated her, well, I wouldn't want to say hated, but she was really a bully to Levana, and I think that's what made Levana more of what she is as we know her. But she was just horrible to Levana. She would call her ugly, and throughout the book we learned why Levana hates people to see who she truly is, because Chernary, when they were younger, put her head in her face in a fire, a actual fire. Now, normally they don't have real fire on Luna because the smoke would cloud up the air domes that they live in, but they were playing with fire when they were little, and Chernary put Levana's face in that actual fire, and it scarred her face, and one of her eyes is swollen shut, and her arms have scars on them, and that's why she absolutely hates people to see who she truly is. That's why she wears the cover, the veil, over her face on, you know, camera or anything, and it's it's really quite upsetting. Like, I felt bad for her. Like, I understand now why she uses her glamour and why she wants to look beautiful, because in reality she thinks she's not beautiful, and it was kind of painful. Like, there was a pang right here, and I felt so bad for her, but it was really hard throughout the rest of the book because she became so evil, and it was hard to see Levana as somebody who thinks she's ugly, and it was so weird. And I couldn't believe that Chennari had done that. It was horrible. And Chennari is just a horrible person in general. But eventually, she died from a stomach flu or something like that. It wasn't good. It wasn't pretty either. But she died, and we learn later in the book that Chennari really did care for Cinder, who in the book is named Celine. Who she really did care for Celine in the book, and because, how do I explain this? We found a nursery, or like a nursery bed, not a crib, that's it, a crib in in Chennari's room, and it gave us a sense that, you know, maybe she did care for Celine. Now, about halfway through this book, we start to recognize the Levana we know from the main series. She's thinking horrible things about, you know, about killing Celine, because Levana is only queen for 15 years until Celine is old enough to take the throne, and then she's no longer queen. But Levana likes to think that she is the best queen that there has ever been, and she's the fairest and the most, I think, generous was the word, queen that there had ever been. So she's starting to have these really bad thoughts about killing Celine, or about taking over Earth, and we're starting to see the different elements of the Queen Levana that we all know. So I've started to familiarize myself with the character more, because I knew her and I'd read about her in 3 other books. So it really, really helped. Well, I don't want to say helped. I mean, I don't like that she turned evil, but we all knew it was coming. So, and then we learn about the fire that killed Celine, or was said to have killed Celine, how it started, how Levana pulled it off, and it was very, very strange and sad. And then we also learned about, or heard of the rumors that had spread on Luna, and, you know, how Celine survived, and she actually did, and we all know that from Cinder now. But I think I'm going to wrap this up. Overall, I really, really loved this book. I've been waiting, God only knows how long for it. Since it was announced, I think I've been waiting and waiting for it. And it's finally here, and I loved it. And it was great. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Please, go pick this up. Read the Lunar Chronicles. It's so great. So guys, that is it for this video today. As always, if you liked the video, go and press the like button. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Please join the Once Upon a Read-Along for our Fairest Read-Along. The live show is February 28th, time to be announced. And that is all I have for this video today. My name is Chloe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!